Sometimes you notice things others don't. While everyone around you seems happy with how things are, you feel something deeper. You sense that something isn't right. Life feels strange, almost like you're watching a play that everyone else thinks is real. People are busy, entertained, distracted. But inside, you see cracks in the world that no one talks about. And when you try to speak up, they don't understand. Some change the subject. Some laugh. Others just look confused. It makes you feel alone. Like maybe you're the only one who feels this way. But you're not. The truth is, many people feel disconnected once they start thinking deeply. You start to question things, to look closer, to understand more. And when you do, the world stops making simple sense. That's not a bad thing. It just means you're awake in a place where most people are still asleep. You're not being dramatic or difficult. You're not cold or arrogant. You're just aware. You want more than small talk, more than routine. You want meaning. But most people are afraid of meaning. They avoid it. They'd rather stay comfortable, even if it means living in a kind of dream. When someone like you shows up, someone who sees clearly, it makes them uncomfortable. And so, without meaning to, you start to feel like the outsider. There's a reason for this. It's not your fault. It's a reaction that happens when deep people reach shallow comfort. When you ask real questions or share honest thoughts, people don't always know how to respond. You're not attacking them, but they feel exposed. It's like holding up a mirror. And most people don't like what they see. They've spent years covering up their fears and doubts, pretending everything's fine. Your presence makes it harder for them to keep pretending. This is something called the mirror effect. You might not be trying to challenge anyone, but just by being yourself, clear, thoughtful, curious, you reflect things back at people they don't want to see. Not because you're mean, not because you're wrong, but because you make them feel something they're not ready to face. So they react. They pull away. They joke. They avoid. And you feel the distance grow. This happens not just to you. It's happened throughout history. Many of the greatest thinkers and artists felt the same way. Socrates was killed for asking questions. Galileo was punished for telling the truth. Tesla died alone. Schopenhauer lived most of his life ignored. These people weren't weak. They were just ahead of their time. They were deep in a world that wanted to stay shallow. You feel it, too. You sit at a table and hear people talking about gossip, trends, or reality shows, and all you want is a real conversation. Something true. Something that matters. But when you speak from the heart, it feels like you're speaking another language. People nod politely or quickly change the subject. After a while, you stop talking. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you know they're not ready to hear it. This feeling of being left out or misunderstood is painful, but it's also a sign of something powerful. You see more than most. You think deeper than most. And that kind of awareness isn't common. It's rare. It's special. And yes, it comes with loneliness. But it also comes with meaning. Society teaches us to fit in, to follow the crowd, to be normal. From a young age, we're told to obey rules, memorize facts, and repeat what we're taught. But deep thinking breaks that pattern. It asks, why? It asks, is this really true? And those questions shake things up. They make people nervous. That's why thinkers are often pushed aside, labeled as difficult, intense, or strange. The world rewards those who follow the script. Get the job. Buy the car. Smile at the camera. But what about those who want something more? What about those who look beyond the surface? The system doesn't have room for that. It's built to keep people comfortable, not curious. And when you step outside of it, you don't just feel different, you are different. That difference can feel like a curse, but it's not. It's a gift. A heavy one, yes, but a real one. You're not here to blend in. You're here to wake up, to notice, to ask, to feel. And yes, that makes life harder sometimes, but it also makes life richer. This is why you often feel tension in social settings, even when you're quiet. You don't have to say a word to make people feel uncomfortable. Just being present, just being awake is enough. You carry a certain energy, a kind of truth, and people can feel it even if they can't explain it. That's not your fault. It's a reaction that comes from fear, not from reason. Most people build their lives around what's easy, not what's real. They choose lies that feel safe over truths that feel hard. So when someone like you shows up, you become a reminder of what they've been trying to avoid. That's why you feel pushed away. That's why you feel like you're on the outside. Not because you're wrong, but because you make others see what they're not ready to face. But your way of seeing the world is needed. Maybe not by everyone, but by someone. There are others like you, people who are tired of pretending, tired of shallow smiles and empty talk. People who are waiting for someone to say what they've always felt, but never had the courage to admit. You might not see them yet, but they exist. And your voice might be the one that helps them finally feel seen. Being different doesn't mean being alone forever. It means walking your own path until the right people find you or until you find them. And in the meantime, your thoughts, your feelings, your questions, they matter. Even when no one listens. Even when no one understands. You don't need to change who you are to fit in. You need to learn how to be fully yourself, even in a world that doesn't always understand. That takes strength. That takes time. But it's worth it. There is peace in truth, even when truth is hard. There is freedom in thinking deeply, even when it hurts. And there is beauty in being real, even when it feels lonely. Keep going. Keep thinking. Keep feeling. The world may not reward you for it, but it needs you for it. And somewhere, someone is waiting to hear exactly what you have to say. The human mind is built to belong. Thousands of years ago, people lived in small groups where staying alive meant being accepted by the tribe. If you were pushed out or left behind, you didn't just feel lonely, you faced real danger. Rejection could mean death. That deep fear of being left out is still inside us. It's part of how our brains are wired. Even today, when we're not fighting wild animals to survive, our minds react to rejection with fear and anxiety. We want to be part of something. We want to feel safe. And anything that threatens that safety, even someone who sees the world differently, can make people feel uncomfortable. That's where the trouble begins. A mind that thinks too deeply, that sees beyond the surface, is often seen as a threat. It's not about what you say, it's the way you think. When you ask questions, when you reflect instead of just going along with everyone else, you challenge the unspoken rules that hold groups together. Sometimes, just by staying quiet during a joke that doesn't feel right to you, or by bringing up a thought no one expected, you shake people out of their comfort zone. And when that happens, many people don't know how to respond. They feel it as a risk. Their brains react like something dangerous is happening, even when it's just a conversation. Science backs this up. Studies in neuroscience have shown that when someone feels mentally challenged or inferior in a conversation, their brain triggers the amygdala, the part that deals with fear and threat. This happens not because you've done something wrong, but because your mind works in a way they don't understand. Your ideas don't follow the usual script. You make people feel like they're being watched or judged, even if you're not doing that at all. Your intelligence makes them uncomfortable, not because you are attacking them, but because you represent something new, something they haven't faced before. And throughout human history, anything new or different has often been pushed away. Today's world makes this even harder. Society has become more tribal than ever. Schools often teach children to think the same way, to follow rules, to memorize instead of question. Social media builds small bubbles where people only see things they already agree with. Algorithms don't want you to think, they want you to react, to scroll, to click. Curiosity is not rewarded. Simplicity is. And if your mind doesn't fit into that system, if you need more meaning, more depth, then suddenly you become a problem. You ask too much. You want too much. You care too much. You are seen as difficult, intense, even strange. But the truth is, none of that makes you wrong. It makes you awake. You're not too sensitive. You're just aware. You notice things others don't. You question things most people never even think about. You're not satisfied with easy answers or shallow conversations. You want real meaning, honest connection, truth, even when it's uncomfortable. And that's exactly what this world is not built to give you. It runs on appearance, on surface level acceptance, on staying in line. That's why you often feel out of place, like there's no room for your mind. So, what can you do? How do you protect your clarity without letting it become a burden? How do you live in a world that doesn't always value depth without losing yourself? That's what this journey is about. If you've ever felt out of place because of how deeply you think or feel, you are not alone. There's a reason it hurts. There's a reason your mind stands out, and it goes deeper than most people realize. That's what my book, Beyond the Shadow, explores. It takes the powerful ideas of Carl Jung and brings them to life, offering tools to help you understand yourself and survive the loneliness that often comes with seeing what others cannot. If this speaks to you, the link is in the pinned comment. If you've made it this far, it means something clicked inside you. Maybe you've spent years trying to fit in. Maybe you've tried to be less intense, to keep quiet, to hide what makes you different. But every time you do that, it drains you. It's exhausting to wear a mask. And the sad truth is, the world doesn't reward you for pretending to be someone else. It doesn't suddenly accept you just because you play along. You just end up tired and still alone. But here's the twist. The very thing that makes you feel left out is what makes you important. The world needs people who see what others ignore. It needs voices that question, eyes that look deeper, hearts that care more. You're not here to please people. You're here to shake them awake. Yes, that means sometimes you'll walk alone. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be ignored in places that value small talk more than truth. But remember this, it's not that people reject you. They reject what they're not yet ready to understand. History is full of people who were seen as too much. Think of Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, Pascal, Tesla, Turing. All of them were considered strange or difficult. Many of them were excluded or ignored during their lives. But later, their ideas changed the world. Their clarity wasn't accepted at first, but it mattered. And you carry the same kind of fire. The difference now is you have the chance to understand your gift while you're still here. You can embrace it instead of running from it. So don't force yourself into conversations that drain you. Don't beg for understanding where it won't grow. Choose your spaces. Choose your people. A single honest connection is worth more than 1,000 shallow ones. This doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world. It means living with intention. It means protecting your energy, not wasting it. Learn to read the room. Not everyone deserves your deepest thoughts. That's not being fake, it's being wise. Even Schopenhauer said not to share your inner world with people who only live on the surface. Use your intelligence as a mirror. Only reflect it back to those who are ready to see. And while you protect yourself, don't forget to express yourself. Write, paint, speak, build. Don't just think, create. Put your vision into something real. Because intelligence, when it has no outlet, turns inward and becomes pain. But when it's shared through art, story, or action, it becomes power. And most importantly, find your people. Even if they are few, even if they are far away. The internet has made it possible for scattered souls to find one another. Join reading groups, visit forums, start private conversations. Your tribe is out there, but they can't find you if you're hiding in the wrong places. Stop seeking approval from those who can't see your light. Start building a life around the few who can. Still, there's one truth we must face. Being intelligent in a world that fears depth will always be hard. The deeper your insight, the lonelier the path can feel. But there's a hidden gift in that loneliness. It gives you space to grow, to see, to become who you truly are. Awareness doesn't always bring peace. It brings truth. And truth often hurts, but it also sets you free. You've probably tried to fit in, tried to turn your volume down, to be less curious, less reflective. But every time you do, it costs you something. You lose pieces of yourself. And in the end, even the version of you that others accept isn't really you. The world may punish you for being different, but it won't reward you for being fake. So what's the point of hiding? Here's the real twist. What sets you apart is what makes you necessary. The world needs minds that question, hearts that feel, souls that don't settle. You're not here to follow, you're here to lead, even if that means leading quietly from the edges. Even if it means lighting the way for others still trapped in the fog. So don't give up. Don't go silent. Don't pretend to be less than you are. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's lonely. But it's also powerful. You were not born to fit in. You were born to wake people up. And those who see clearly will always feel out of place among those who don't. That's not your failure. It's your gift. If you felt seen in this message, write, "I see" in the comments. Let others know they're not alone. You are not alone. And if you want to keep going, if you want to understand yourself and this world even deeper, watch the next video. It's not just another message. It's a map, and it just might change everything.